Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been enjoying the Americanisms and or book reviews, whatever floats your boat. Let's get right into it. So I wanted to talk about American slang. A lot of the reason I wanted to talk about it was because I find English, yes, English is my first language, but I find the malleability of the English language to be quite fascinating. The fact that we have so many words that have roots in other languages. We have words that have come from Latin, from French, from Spanish, from German, what have you. We have those terms. And because of that, we have this ability to absorb words from other languages and meanings from other languages into our language to improve our communication, but at the same time to kind of obscure communication. Because that's, slang is a way of speaking to your peer group. While kind of they get the meaning, while the people who are outside of your peer group, they don't understand the slang terms. And so we have this ability to say what we mean and at the same time hide this meaning behind these words. And so I find this utterly fascinating, the ability to just completely transform the English language in such a way. And so I want to get into some American slang, some of the terms that I find interesting and kind of the meaning behind it and whatever else. So the first thing I want to talk about is canceled. Now, you may have heard canceled or cancel culture. Personally, I'm not really a big fan of cancel culture. I find the fact that if something is getting canceled, basically what this means is that you're kind of preemptively shutting someone down. Now, whether or not this is a legit shutdown, that may or may not be the case. But if something that you find is distasteful, be it an idea, person, concept, what have you, an idea, concept are interchangeable, but anyway, you find it distasteful, and so you basically shut that person down who is, say, a proponent of that particular thing that you dislike. Now, that's canceling. Now, you may have heard celebrities being canceled, whatnot. I find the idea behind canceling to be upsetting, because if you're canceling something, that means that it's not coming out into the open, and you don't have an opportunity to discuss that idea that may be distasteful to you. And because of that idea goes into hiding. It's still there. And because you're not having that dialogue about it, you're not bringing that out into the open and exposing it for what it is and showing that it's distasteful, and people should shy away from it, should maybe, that. And this goes into things like racism and bigotry, things like that. If you cancel the racist or you cancel the bigot, then that idea just hides. It's still there because you haven't rooted it out. You haven't exposed it for what it is. It's just hidden. And so it has the opportunity to then propagate through the culture. Whereas it should be brought to light. That distastefulness should be brought to light, and it should be exposed for what it is rather than hidden away. Because if we expose it, we can get rid of it. If we cancel it and we should basically put on our blinders and say it doesn't exist, blah, 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 then it's still there. It's just hiding, and it's waiting for its opportunity to, as we say, rear its ugly head. And I find my language to be laced with idioms and figures of speech that I use all the time, and that somebody who's new to this channel and new to English may not understand as I use this the ability of English to paint these pictures. Not that other languages don't have it. It's just that obviously if I say reared its ugly head, if you don't have a similar concept in your language, you may be thinking, well, what on earth are you talking about? Anyway, we'll move along. Chillax. I hate this one because chillax is what's called a portmanteau. See, we're stealing words from the French. Chillax is chill out and relax smashed together. And they both mean the same thing. So if someone's uptight and they're really, getting on your nerves because they're so anxious about something, you're like, chillax. But chill out, relax. The same thing. So if somebody is getting on your case because, they're nervous about something, you can look at them and say, relax, chill out. In this case, chillax. Anyway, yeah. Personally, I don't like the sound of it either. I think it's kind of stupid. But a lot of slang terms really are. That's to say your generation, your slang terms sound great. But to the previous generation and the subsequent generation, they may hate them. Flexing. I like the idea of flexing, but I would never use it. So this comes from bodybuilding. Bodybuilders get up there and they make, they do their best to develop their muscles to look impressive, and flexing is showing that off. And so flexing is boasting. And that's really all it is. It's boasting. And you may hear people say, "Oh, that's quit flexing," or "That's a weird flex." For instance, if you were really proud of the fact that you're a single woman and that you have 10 cats, people might look at you and say, "That's a weird flex," because there's kind of a negative connotation in the United States towards women who are single and have a bunch of cats. They're seen as the crazy cat lady. And so you being boastful of the fact that you have a ton of cats and you're single, they might look at you and go, "Oh, that's a weird flex." So flexing, it's all about boasting, about showing off something about yourself, something that you can do, something that, like, "Oh, I was the first person to do X," or "I was the first person to post on that video." You're flexing. Goat. I like the concept behind it, but it's so weird. So, goat, to me, this has roots in scapegoat. And so if somebody is a scapegoat, you're blaming them for something. Now, it may not be their fault. You're just blaming them anyway. And this actually goes back to biblical times, as the scapegoat does. Once a year, if I remember right, the children of Israel would basically symbolically thrust all of their sins onto a goat and then chase it out of camp. And this became the scapegoat. So it wasn't the goat's fault that you did something bad, but you were blaming the goat anyway. The blame for that sin was heaped on the goat. So to my mind, goat is this bad thing. But in current parlance, GOAT is actually an acronym. So each letter stands for something different. So GOAT is greatest of all time. It's usually used to refer to, say, sports figures that are the best in their game, or places that are the best. So it's kind of funny. Here we have a barbershop. Now, barbershop's really more directed towards men, and hair salons and beauty salons are more directed towards women, although hair salon is kind of unisex. Anybody can go there. So with GOAT, where you've got greatest of all time, you have this, in my mind, they have this connotation. But anyway, we actually have a barbershop here called GOAT Haircutting or something like that. And it's really funny to see it, goat haircutting. Why would you cut goat's hair? But it really just means that they're the greatest of all time at giving haircuts. So I wouldn't use it. Like I said, I like the idea behind it, but I wouldn't really use goat. So next one, I'm dead. This one is a bit weirder. So a lot of languages have something that's similar to this in terms of what this used to mean. It kind of still does. If somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, I'm dead," that means, obviously you're not actually dead. You're just dead tired. You're so tired. You're like, "Oh, I can't do anything. I'm so tired. I just can't do anything." You had a really strenuous workout. You really had a strenuous day at work. You're like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I'm dead." It has since picked up another meaning, and this is, it means that you heard something that was so funny, you just couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. You went to a comedy show, and the comedian up on the stage just really killed it. And in this case, I'm using "killed it" in the good sense. Again, this is another one that may or may not be strictly American, but you just laughed your head off. Another one. So it was just something that was so funny. You were laughing so hard. Okay, lit. This is kind of the equivalent of greatest of all time, but you use it to apply to something rather than a person or a place. So if you went to a party and the party was lit, or you went to a concert and the concert was lit, it just means that it was super good, super exciting, just great time all around. Props. Now, props is an abbreviation. It's short for proper, but it kind of is it even has a larger meaning here, in that it's like proper respect or proper recognition. So if you did something that was amazing, let's say it was karaoke night, you went out and you nailed that song. You hit all the right notes. You sounded even better than the original artist. Somebody got done and they're like, props to you. It means that they are recognizing the fact that you were awesome at whatever that was that you did. This is kind of nerdy, but you go to school, you ace the math test. Props to you. I'm showing the proper respect or the proper recognition, the fact that you have the skills to do whatever it was on that test. Kind of in a more slang, you go to the skate park, you perfectly execute whatever trick it is that you're trying to pull. Props to you. That's what that is. I'm showing you proper respect, proper recognition for the skills that you have in that case. All right, salty. This will be the last one for today. Now, I like salty. I can't say that I would use this. Salty in this case, it has to do with being upset or annoyed about something and not hiding that fact. Somebody cuts you off. You're driving along, somebody cuts you off, and you are salty about it. So you're grouchy, and it may, extend to more than just right then and right there. You get home and you're still salty about it. You can kind of show this annoyance with other things too. So, for instance, you are at home, somebody takes the last donut that you were saving for breakfast tomorrow, and so then you make kind of grouchy comments the rest of the night about the fact that they stole your donut. You're being salty about the donut. So, salty, I like it. It kind of shows that you're I'm trying to think of something that's not slang, because spicy comes to mind, sassy. It has absolutely no reference to the fact that the food might or might not be salted. potato chips are salty in that sense. But in this sense, you're kind of allowing your anger and your annoyance to show through. You're not really like full blown eruption of anger. It's just that you're kind of angry about something, and so you're maybe being a little bit snarky. You're allowing that irritation to color your language and your attitude. So that's salty. Like I said, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope now when you hear Americans using these terms, you're like, oh, that's what they mean, and not like, why is George salty? I didn't see him, was he swimming in the ocean? Did somebody spill some salt on him? I have no idea what you're talking about. Now you understand. George is being a little bit irate. He's being a little bit grumpy about something. So hopefully this helps. If there's any terms that you would like me to explain, please comment down below. Like and subscribe as always, and have fun.